Hey guys, it's me, Ice Game Boy here, and today I decided to link every episode of the Manty Show season 6. Now, keep in mind that season 6 just ended like a couple of days ago or so. So now you guys get to see how I feel about some of the episodes. It's only maybe 2 or 3 episodes I really hate, and it's mostly not so good but okay episodes too. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. And the reason I sound like this is probably because I just woke up. So yeah, let's get started. Daisy's Dream. Daisy's Dream, it's a pretty good start to the season. I'll definitely say that it's one of my favorite out of the dream episodes where the characters have a dream and you get to see the inside. And that's what this episode is. You get to see the inside of Daisy's dream. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10. The embarrassment. Now this episode, I wish it was good, but there's only one problem with this episode, and that's because the audio is like so freaking loud. Like it's so gosh darn loud that you can actually hear it if you turn your volume all the way to 1% or something. But basically this episode is where Ben keeps embarrassing Tom, and Tom doesn't like it, so he wants Ben to promise him to stop, or else he's gonna end up feeling like an awkward person, and basically all that. Well, because the audio is too loud and it makes this episode kind of bad, it's gonna have to be a 1 out of 10. Tom's new friend. Tom's new friend is actually the most interesting episode. It's not my favorite, but it's good. And that's because this episode introduces a new character, and that's Mia Anderson, which she's actually a scientist who loves to hang out with Tom most of the time, and you'll definitely see that in the next season. I'm just gonna tell you that. And it's kind of funny because it's basically like Ben's new friend, or Ben's friend from season 1, and because I really like this episode and this character, its first introduction, it's going to be an 8 out of 10. Jimmy the Babysitter. Now this episode was originally supposed to be the 3rd episode, but it got moved to the 4th because Tom's new friend. So yeah, this episode is not that bad. Like it's actually like one of my favorite Jimmy episodes, and that's because it's the most interesting Jimmy episodes, or at least from the beginning of this season. Basically, Jimmy has to babysit 2 kids, but they act like spoiled brats, and they basically torture him for fun. And because this is my favorite, it's gonna have to be a 10 out of 10. The Third Wheel. Now remember when season 5's last episode ended with Ben and Daisy going on a date? Yeah, that's basically what this episode is, but this time, since we know the dating now and the couples, Jimmy gets a little bit concerned about what they're doing, and secretly watches them until he finally snaps and all that. This episode feels too rushed, and unfortunately I don't like this episode too much. It just feels really rushed, really rushed. But the good news is that there's a Dan and Nanny segment, and that part is good. So if it wasn't for Dan and Nanny, I wouldn't like this episode. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give the episode like a 1 out of 10. And the Dan and Nanny segment made me a 9 out of 10. The Prize. The first appearance of Jack in this season. It took 6 episodes for him to finally appear, but here he is. Basically, Tom and Jack hears that there's a contest where you can make the best invention, and because Tom and Jack are really good scientists, they decide to enter this competition. But they don't end up getting the prize, and it turns into a failure for them. So yeah, this episode is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good episode. I'll give it like a 7 out of 10. I do kind of wish I added a little bit more, but yeah. Headless Ben. This episode is once again, it's okay. I mean, I only say okay because the best part about this episode is the musical song, and the only musical song in this season. Like it's just like okay, and yeah, this is also the second appearance of Mia Anderson, so that's something good to know. So yeah, this episode is gonna have to be like a 5 out of 10. Now, Paper Ben, like I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but all I can say is that you have to watch it. Paper Ben is worth the time. All I can say is that they this is actually a pretty clever episode, and it's me and my friend Aiden's favorite episode. So yeah, it's no surprise that it's gonna have to be a 10 out of 10. Ben's question. This episode is kind of boring, and the plot is kind of stupid, and I say that because in my head I thought that this was gonna be a simple good episode or okay. It's not even an okay episode. It's just like bad. Like we always seen this idea before in other cartoons, and seeing it in Manty show kind of hurts. So this is gonna have to be a 1 out of 10. Ben's memes. Now this episode is actually like one of my favorites because basically Ben, Daisy like make random funny memes, and they try to teach Jimmy how to make a funny meme or what memes are. And yeah, just the memes that I thought of are literally the reason why I love this episode. Plus, this was my favorite episode to work on, because it's like one of those Ben and Daisy episodes. So yeah, be my guest. So yeah, because of that, I have to give it like a 10 out of 10. Daisy's swimming lesson. I'm only gonna say 2 words about it. The voice sounds bad, and I hate this episode because it makes no sense. So 1 out of 10. Jimmy the teacher. This episode is actually like pretty good. I wouldn't say it's that great. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. But it's mostly because like this also has the second thing in any segment and the last one, because I was too lazy to bother to make a third one. But I'll make new in any segments when season 7 comes out at some point. So yeah, this episode is just where Jimmy wants to be a teacher, and yeah, watch the episode if you want to know what I'm saying. Jack's parents, it's a okay episode. The only reason I say okay is because Jack's voice is a little bit hard to hear, and this episode's a little bit too short. And yeah, all I can say is that you get to meet Jack's parents after 6 seasons since we never saw them, and yeah, this episode's like a 6 out of 10. Daisy's addiction. This episode's actually pretty good. My favorite episode is actually coming up in 2 more episodes, but this is a good episode. Just where Daisy wants free ice cream, but then when she eats that flavor of the ice cream, she becomes so addicted to eating the other ice creams.
Let me get free ice cream, Daddy.
Well, actually,
Just don't get addicted to that ice cream.
Okay, Daddy.
And that one too, and then yeah, you get the where this is coming from. It's one of those Days episodes, and yeah, there's lots of Days episodes in this season than season 5. So yeah, and because of that, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. It's a good episode, that's all. The brain. Because this is a really short episode, I won't talk too long about it. Basically, Ben and Mia basically have to chase after Tom's brain after Tom's brain comes out from an explosion that he touches, which affects his brain. And because of that, there is a fourth wall break, and it's actually sort of funny. So yeah, it's a good episode. I'll give it like the same rating as the last one. So yeah. The curse too. Remember back in season 3 when we had the curse? Yeah, fast forward to just a couple of seasons later and 1 year later, and we get like the curse too. Basically, Daisy gets cursed from the devil because Jimmy's so upset that she keeps teasing him, so he decides to like wishes, and he asks the devil to give his sister a curse. And he doesn't start to feel bad until she's about to like die. Like when he realizes that she's about to die, he begs and begs, and then yeah, his sister comes back alive. Obviously, Daisy would never die. That's a fact. So yeah, because this is one of my favorite episodes and one of my favorite Daisy episodes, I'll have to give this episode a 10 out of 10. Mud Boy. Now, Mud Boy, it's a alright episode. I want to say it's great. It's more of a okay episode. So obviously it'll be like a 7 out of 10. Old Memories is just an episode where it shows clips of previous episodes from the old seasons and maybe some on season like season 5 and this season. So yeah, I can't really rate this, but all I can say is that go check it out. It's pretty good. And if you haven't seen the old episodes at all, you guys need to get the idea of why this show matters to me. And now the finale of the episode of this not episode but the season, and that's the sister. This episode is one of my favorite because this actually introduces a new character, but this time it's actually Mia's little sister. Just like how Daisy has a little brother, it's basically that, but switch up. And yeah, Jimmy basically gets jealous that Mia has a little sister who literally like acts like a spoiled brat, and that already hates Jimmy for no reason. And of course they both hate each other, but then at the end, after Jimmy yells at her like so loud, and because he got in trouble for absolutely doing nothing to her, then she finally realized her mistakes, and yeah, that's basically how this finale ends. And they end up deciding to just be friends instead. And I'm glad they did, because this is a good episode. I'm really proud that this episode exists. The original finale was supposed to be the prank call. Actually, no, it was supposed to be Ben's favorite number. The prank call is a 3 episode, and Ben's favorite number is going to be in the next season. So, yeah. But yeah, that's my ranking of the Manty Show season 6. This is definitely a long season, and it's been like 13 minutes I've been doing this video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.